Hello everybody, my name... Never mind. Hello and welcome back to Netstalgia. I'm your host, internet historian and Max's older brother, Benjamin Tasteful Nudes Chilcott, and I have spent the last few weeks learning all about Markiplier so that you don't have to.
Was that the bite of 87?
Roll the intro!
Netstalgia.
Before we get into this video, there was one or two people in the comments of the last video that were being real hostile about a couple small points I got wrong, so disclaimer now. All of this info is fact-checked to the best of my ability. I'm not an expert and I never claimed to be. Additionally, if you're 26 years old harassing a 19-year-old for misspeaking in a video, get a job. Someone actually accused me of using AI to get my info, and I'm very anti-AI, okay? I get my misinformation from wikis, like a real man. Anyway, Mark Edward Fishback was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, on the 28th of June, 1989. I didn't realize how old some of the classic YouTubers are. His dad was a German-American military officer who met his Korean mum while stationed in South Korea. Shortly after he was born, the family moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, where his parents ended up getting divorced while he was still quite young. Then, in 2008, his dad sadly passed away whilst he was only 19 years old. Usually I wouldn't want to mention that in the video, but it's come up in his content and his story a lot over the years, sometimes being really touching and emotional, and other times...
Hey Siri, call us daddy.
I don't see a father in your contacts. What's your father's first and last name?
Well, about that.
In 6th grade, he met Wade Barnes for the first time, and in his freshman year of college, he roomed with Bob Myskins, both of which became close friends of his and frequent collaborators, even to this day. In 2012, he had a really rough year. He lost his job, got kicked out the house, went into debt, and had multiple really serious stints in hospital. And after being hospitalized for an adrenal tumor, he decided he wanted to do something else. This was when he joined YouTube for the first time. Originally wanting to make sketches and action videos, he created the name Markiplier as a mashup of his name, Mark, and Multiplier, because he was going to be playing all the characters. He's actually said since then that it was a really dumb name. Good job it didn't stick. However, gaming videos were getting really popular on YouTube around this time, so he decided to give that a go instead. He'd always had a passion for video games growing up, so it seemed like a pretty logical move for him. And I mean, clearly it worked out. His first gaming series was Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which was being popularized by other YouTubers at the time, like PewDiePie. Mark actually tried to apply for monetization really early on, but his AdSense account got banned for supposedly abusing AdSense systems. If you don't know, AdSense is Google's free platform which lets you sign up to run ads on your channel or website. Because of the fact he was being falsely prevented from monetization, he decided to move to what's now his current channel, at the time called Markiplier Game, and now just called Markiplier. And in November 2012, he started a new series.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome to Let's Play Happy Wheels.
As with Jacksepticeye, Happy Wheels became a huge series for Mark, pulling in tons of new subscribers. To this day, he's done roughly 100 episodes playing the game, with it being one of his longest running series. By the end of his first year on YouTube, he already had over 60,000 subscribers. What the hell am I doing wrong? During this time, he was studying at the University of Cincinnati to become a biomedical engineer. Shula did biomedical engineering for a while, so let's have a little insight into how that was. Okay. Mark actually ended up dropping out with only 2 semesters left. Different sources say that it's because it was too stressful, some say that it's because he wanted to pursue YouTube. Could be neither, could be both. I couldn't find anything concrete, but if you know, then let me know in the comments. In October 2013, only a year and a half after posting his first video, Mark hit 1 million subscribers. The Markipliers were growing, and fast. Month after month, his sub count just grew and grew. In early 2014, Mark moved to LA to be closer to other YouTubers and potential business opportunities. And then a few months later, he posted his first ever collab with Jacksepticeye. Not in LA, of course. Jack was still living in Ireland at this point. Anyone who watched the Jacksepticeye video knows that my very real legal middle name is Septiplier, so this was huge for me. Kinda. The pair also ended up becoming friends with and collaborating a lot with PewDiePie, forming one of, if not the most iconic trio in YouTube history. More importantly, this year, he starred in Season 6 of The Annoying Orange as Mini Shark and Mark Marinara. Cinema. This year didn't stop getting bigger and bigger here though. In August, he played a new indie horror game that was gaining some traction online.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, that's where I wanna be. Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's became a staple of Mark's channel. It was almost a symbiotic relationship, as he helped the game grow and it helped him do the same. He became kind of the king of FNAF, cementing his chaotic, scream-heavy persona, which became an iconic part of his brand in this era. He actually got a lot of criticism over the years for being a loud equals funny YouTuber, which he's actually joked about since then. Honestly though, I don't think it was as bad as a lot of other YouTubers. It fit what he was doing and it didn't feel obnoxious or annoying. Mark played loads of different games during this massive growth era, mostly horror, like Slenderman and SCP Containment Breach, but also things like Drunk Minecraft, which we actually stream on Twitch from time to time. But despite all that, he was still the king of FNAF. And to this day, they are some of his most viewed videos. Right behind this.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
And this.
Barf! 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 Woof! Woof! Woof!
There was a running joke in these videos where he kept saying that this would be the last ever FNAF video before just making another one. In November 2014, he became a board member of Red Giant Entertainment, a massive comic book publisher who, since I've looked into them, makes some real horny shit.
What's it called?
Jumping ahead a little here, but in 2016 it was announced he would appear in his own line of comics from Red Giant. Anyway, back to 2014. In December, he hit 5 million subs. Once again, just an indicator of how insane his growth was. Not only was it fast and strong, but it grew exponentially. Look at this graph of his subs from June 2012 to December 2014. He just kept speeding up. In 2015, Mark co-hosted the South by Southwest Gaming Awards with Janet Varney, a huge honor among gamers at the time. And later in the year, he starred in the greatest film of all time, Smosh the Movie, which you would have known if you'd seen mine and Fob's reaction to it. Then in September, after a really upsetting situation in his personal life, which I don't want to get into, Mark took a hiatus from YouTube to take time to recover and get back to feeling good. He ended up coming back on the 5th of October, and less than a fortnight later, he hit 10 million subs.
10 million subs.
And then, at the end of the year, fans caught Mark in YouTube Rewind. His first time appearing in the series, but not the last. After 2015, he became a regular appearance right up until 2018, the last proper Rewind before all this utter woke nonsense. As I said earlier, in 2016, Mark got his own line of comics from Red Giant, but he also signed with the William Morris Endeavor talent agency. His first project with WME was his You're Welcome tour in spring 2017. Alongside him, he had Bob, Wade, Tyler Scheid, and Ethan Nestor, and together they performed 31 shows across the US and Europe. Another project he took part in 2017 was the animated series Villainous for Cartoon Network. He voiced 505 in the show, which he continued to do whenever they released new episodes, all the way up until the show ended in 2021. This era is when Mark started to evolve to more than just a gamer. Hell, more than just a YouTuber. That original creative spark that led him to sketches and action videos was finally being revealed to the world. And it was great. Mark was acting in things, writing, and even trying out producing some awesome projects. I love seeing creative people try new things and discover new paths. And that's exactly what Mark was doing. At this point, YouTube heavily rewarded things like daily uploads and constant engagement. And in trying to keep up with that, Mark absolutely exhausted himself. He's talked openly about feeling trapped by expectations and uploading because he felt like he had to, not because he wanted to. And ultimately, I think that's what led him away from being a gamer into more of a general creator. I do this a lot in these videos. He was still involved in the world of gaming, but he was definitely a creator first and a gamer second. And then, at the end of March 2018, Mark hit 20 million subscribers. I mean, I don't even know how to put that into perspective. Yeah, I do. If you had 20 million Kit Kats and you put them end to end, you could go all the way from the middle of London to buttfuck nowhere Belarus. Not one of my best maths lessons. Over the years, Mark has done loads of charity work, especially work on fighting cancer, as it's a very close topic to him, being how his dad passed. And to celebrate 20 million subs, he did a 48-hour sale of his Tasteful Nudes calendar, with all proceeds going to the Cancer Research Institute. In October of 2018, alongside Jacksepticeye, Mark launched Cloak, a shared clothing line aimed at gamers. The goal was to make their own merch/apparel line that people would actually want to wear. In 2020, they brought on Pokimane as a partner and creative director, and if you go to the Cloak website now, there's nothing there. I saw some people on Reddit theorizing that there's going to be a big reboot with a bunch of new apparel, so it'll be worth keeping an eye on. A year later, in October 2019, he released A Heist with Markiplier, an interactive YouTube original where Mark and the viewer take on a burglary together with 31 possible endings. He did a similar project a few years before called A Date with Markiplier, but this was on a whole new level. He actually released another interactive YouTube original later down the line called In Space with Markiplier, which he promoted by watching the trailer 100 times in one sitting. Then, in November 2019, he started a new channel with Ethan Nestor called Unus Annus. Unus Annus might be my favourite project of Mark's. It's certainly the one I knew the most about coming into this, and I just love the creativity of it. Unus Annus is Latin for 1 year, not one butthole. Only an idiot would think that. The pair posted a new video on the channel every day for a year, and at the end, the entire channel was deleted. They hit 1 million subs in just 5 days, and by the end of the year, the channel had over 4.5 million. The channel was deleted at the end of a 12-hour live stream on November 14th, 2020.
Unus Annus.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side.
Something you need to know about Mark is that he seems to be magnetically attracted to the hospital. This guy's such a frequent visitor that he has his own ward. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but there is genuinely a Twitter account that tracks how long it's been since the last time he was in the hospital. Anyway, back to work. In January 2022, Mark, Wade, and Bob started the Distractable podcast. And although I'm generally against every guy over 20 having their own podcast, this one's pretty good. Then, at the end of the year, after the success of the Tasteful Nudes calendar 4 years before, Mark announced that he would start an OnlyFans with all proceeds going to charity on 3 conditions. Condition 1, Distractable had to hit #1 podcast on Spotify and Apple. Condition number 2, his sports podcast, Go, My Favorite Sports Team, had to hit #1 sports podcast in the US. And condition 3, fans had to pay a $12 admission fee for his documentary, Markiplier from North Korea. A documentary based on his mother's life story and him getting back into contact with the rest of his family. Okay, so as I'm editing this, I've literally just seen a TikTok of someone talking about how his mum actually made a book version of this, and apparently it's absolutely mental.
She opens by comparing Mark to Buddha and Jesus, and then she says that if her family had sided with the North during the Korean War, she believes that it would have been Mark's destiny to ascend the throne and replace Kim Jong-il as the leader of North Korea.
Huh? These conditions were met stupidly fast, and the OnlyFans page was launched on the 9th of December 2022. Once again, these were tasteful nudes, so there was no full frontal nudity, which I know Casey was heartbroken about.
Right.
In March 2023, Mark signed with United Talent Agency. I couldn't find much info about the deal, but I'm guessing that this signing allowed him to do a lot more of the creative work we talked about earlier. One of these creative works was announced a month later in April, when Deadline released an article announcing that Mark was set to direct, write, produce, and finance a feature film version of the 2022 horror game, Iron Lung. The film is set to star Mark, Caroline Rose Kaplan, Jacksepticeye, and presumably others. Recently it was announced that Iron Lung will come out on the 30th of January 2026. Hopefully this video is out before then. Yippee! with the final trailer being released last month. Iron Lung is a great representation of Mark's move away from just Let's Plays to more creative works of art, and I personally am very excited to see it. This is one of the things I love about YouTube, and not to sound like a fearmonger, but I'm kind of worried we're losing it. YouTube has always been the internet's creative hub. So many amazing, talented people have been discovered here, but now it just seems like reaching outside of your box is met with hostility. For example, a lot of people don't take James Marriott seriously because they see him as a YouTube musician, when you could say that about Dodie, Justin Bieber, Joji, any of these people. Even KSI, and as much as I hate to admit it, the Paul brothers. I can't stand them. But what they've done for boxing as a sport is undeniable. So many new fans being brought in, but they don't get any credit for it because they're just YouTube boxers. I see YouTube as a place for creative people to be creative. It used to be a place where social outcasts could go and make friends, communities even, who had shared passions, but now it feels like it's less of a safe space for that. The bullies are part of the platform as well. And in a place that used to be a home for people to be weird and creative, you now feel like you're stepping on eggshells, trying to be exactly what they want you to be, for fear of being harassed. It definitely goes through waves though. I feel like creativity and individuality are on the way back in. Mark's a great indicator of that. 10 years ago, a YouTuber making a feature film would sound crazy, but now it's happening. Once again, I don't really want to talk about AI. I'll get into that in an upcoming video, but I do think it's refreshed people's appreciation for effort and creativity. This video by Nathan Zed is a great watch if you haven't seen it already. I've probably recommended it before, but it's like my #1 video from last year, so go have a look. Tangent over. Mark's doing pretty well these days. He's had ups and downs like anyone else, and his downs have been really harsh, but he's persevered. He's fought burnout, hate, grief, and any other kind of shit you can imagine, and he's still come out of it better and stronger. He's always been good at avoiding beef and drama online, never calling people out or subtweeting them. His beefs have only ever been with the platform to make sure it's a healthy and fair place, and personally, I think that's why I'm going to stick with him. I've really enjoyed learning about Mark and his story. As I said, if there's anything you think I missed or didn't get right, please do let me know in the comments. Be nice.
I'm warning you.
Yeah, my bigger mate's gonna come beat you up, mate. I asked in the Discord what I should do for this week's outro, and this is what I got. Please leave a comment telling me what I have to do next week so I don't have to ask the Discord again. I hope you're having a good new year. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll catch you for the next catch up. Bye.
Chilcott dude will return.